Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into the world of some of nature's most, well, incredible, and let's be honest, kind of terrifying inventions. We are talking about the science of the sting. It's a world filled with microscopic harpoons, crazy chemical cocktails, and some pretty wild survival strategies. So, let's get right to the point.
You know, this is a great place to start because on the surface, you might think a sting is just a sting, right? It hurts and you want to stay away from it. But the actual mechanisms behind that pain, they are wildly different. We're talking about everything from a single suicidal act of defense to a nearly invisible lightning-fast attack. The world of stingers is way more diverse and ingenious than you probably think.
Okay, so to really understand the sting, you've got to look at the tools of the trade first. And let me tell you, nature has an absolutely mind-blowing arsenal of them. Each one is a specialized weapon, perfectly evolved for its very, very specific purpose.
So let's look at two classic examples with totally different game plans. You've got the honeybee. Its stinger has these little backward-facing barbs, kind of like a fishhook. So when it stings you, it can't pull the stinger back out. The whole thing actually rips away from its body, and sadly, the bee dies. It's the ultimate sacrifice for the hive. But then you have the wasp. Its stinger is smooth. That means it can sting, pull it out, and sting you again and again, which makes it a much more persistent threat if it thinks you're trouble.
And then you have the jellyfish. This is on a whole other level. It doesn't just have one stinger. It has thousands, even millions. Its tentacles are covered in these microscopic cells called nematosts. Now get this. Inside each one is a tiny, coiled, barbed harpoon held under enormous pressure. The slightest touch is all it takes to trigger it, and that harpoon fires in less than a millionth of a second. It's one of the fastest biological processes in the entire animal kingdom. Just wow. And the variety of these natural weapons just keeps going. Scorpions, of course, have that classic tail-mounted needle. Stingrays use a serrated, razor-sharp barb on their tail that does horrific physical damage in addition to the venom. The stonefish, yikes, it has 13 spines on its back. When you step on it, your own body weight pushes down and injects the venom. And some ants have a two-part system. First, they grab you with their powerful jaws to get a good grip, and then they sting you. Clever, huh?
Of course, the stinger itself is just the delivery system, right? It's the needle. The real danger, the source of all that excruciating pain and life-threatening stuff, well, that's in the complex chemical cocktail it delivers. We're talking about the venom.
So venoms aren't all the same. They pretty much fall into two major categories. First, you've got neurotoxins, which is what things like scorpions and the super deadly box jellyfish use. These mess with your nervous system. They disrupt the signals, causing intense pain, muscle spasms, all the way up to paralysis and cardiac arrest. Then you've got tissue-damaging venoms. These are packed with enzymes that literally just dissolve cells in flesh. This is the specialty of stingrays and stonefish, and it causes just unbelievable pain, swelling, and tissue decay.
And some venoms, well, they have an extra little trick up their sleeve. A wasp's venom isn't just about causing you pain. When it stings, it also shoots out these alarm pheromones. You can think of it like a chemical siren that screams to every other wasp nearby, "Hey, we've got a threat over here. Attack this exact spot." And that is why trying to swat one wasp near its nest can turn into a really, really bad day, really fast.
Okay, we've seen the weapons, we've seen the chemicals. Now for what might be the most important part of all. What in the world do you do if you're on the receiving end of one of these? Knowing the right first aid can make a huge, huge difference.
All right, for most of the stings you're likely to run into, like from a bee or a wasp, these are the absolute basics. Step one, and I cannot stress this enough, stay calm. Freaking out makes your heart pump faster, which just spreads the venom around your body more quickly. Next, gently clean the area to keep it from getting infected, and put a cold pack on it to help with the pain and swelling. And of course, if you start having serious symptoms, trouble breathing, feeling dizzy, get medical help immediately.
But, and this is super important, different stings need different treatments. Knowing this can literally be a lifesaver. For a jellyfish sting, pour vinegar on it for about 30 seconds. That helps shut down all the little stingers that haven't fired yet. But, and listen to this, never use fresh water. It'll actually cause them all to fire at once. For a stingray or stonefish, hot water is your friend because the heat helps break down the venom. And if you are ever unlucky enough to get a stingray barb stuck in you, whatever you do, do not pull it out. Those serrations will just tear up more flesh on the way out. Leave that for the doctors.
Now, for the most dangerous, venomous creatures out there, modern medicine has a pretty amazing ace in the hole: Antivenom. It's created using antibodies, and it's designed to go in and neutralize the toxins that are wreaking havoc in your body. It is a genuine lifesaver for severe stings from things like a deathstalker scorpion, a stonefish, or that incredibly venomous box jellyfish.
So we've covered the mechanics, the chemistry, the first aid. But let's just zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. Why? Why did these incredible and incredibly dangerous systems evolve in the first place?
Well, the answer, as it so often is in nature, is survival. It's not about being mean or evil. These are essential tools. For bees, it's all about defending the colony, the family. For a stingray buried in the sand, it's a last-ditch effort to not get eaten by a shark. For predators like scorpions and stonefish, it's just how they get dinner. And for ants, their stings and bites can even be a way to communicate, sending chemical signals to the rest of the nest.
And the creatures that wield these weapons are often way more complex than we realize. I mean, take the box jellyfish again. You might think it's just a simple, brainless blob floating around. Nope. It has 24 eyes, arranged in these little clusters that allow it to actually see and actively hunt its prey. It's just an amazing reminder of how beautifully alien life on this planet can be.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Here's the great paradox. The very thing that makes venom so dangerous is also what makes it so incredibly valuable. Scientists are studying these complex chemical cocktails like crazy. Why? Well, because a substance that can so precisely target nerve signals or affect blood pressure might just hold the key to developing powerful new medicines for all kinds of human diseases.
And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? These creatures absolutely command our respect and, our caution, but they also fire up our curiosity. They represent both a primal danger and a frontier of scientific discovery. The sting is this powerful reminder that, in nature, sometimes the deadliest poisons can hide the most promising cures. Thanks for joining me.